After calling off his movie premiere and an appearance on Stephen Colbert, a much-anticipated New York Times article dropped with 5 women's accounts of Louis C.K.'s sexual misconduct. Welcome back to What's Trending. I'm Ava Gordy. Be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories. Earlier today, the premiere of Louis C.K.'s controversial film, I Love You, Daddy, was canceled along with his scheduled appearance tomorrow night on The Late Show. Rumors of an incriminating New York Times article started swirling around the internet, and it was finally published. Heavily outlined in the article are accusations from Chicago-based comedy duo Dana Min Goodman and Julia Wolof. After an event in Colorado in 2002, Louis C.K. invited the duo up to his hotel room. While Goodman and Wolof assumed his intentions were to just celebrate a good show, immediately upon arriving in the hotel room, he asked them if he could take out his penis. Quote, "They thought it was a joke and laughed it off. And then he really did it," Miss Goodman said in an interview with the New York Times. He proceeded to take all his clothes off and get completely naked and started masturbating. When they attempted to share their story with fellow comedians, Louis C.K.'s manager Dave Becky, who also manages Aziz Ansari, Kevin Hart, and Amy Poehler, among others, told their managers that they should stop talking openly about the incident. Becky said, quote, "I don't recall the exact specifics of the conversation, but no, I never threatened anyone." Comedian Rebecca Corey recalls an experience she had while shooting a pilot guest starring Louis C.K. Quote, "He asked if we could go to my dressing room so he could masturbate in front of me. Stunned and angry, Miss Corey said that she declined and pointed out that he had a daughter and a pregnant wife. His face got red," she recalled, "and he told me he had issues." These allegations were backed up by Courtney Cox and David Arquette, who were executive producers for the pilot. Cox said, quote, "What happened to Rebecca on that set was awful." Writer, illustrator, and performer Abby Schachner called Louis C.K. in 2003 to invite him to a show. He went from mentioning that she was cute to suddenly describing his sexual fantasies. She said she could hear him close the blinds, breathe heavily, and talk softly before she realized he was masturbating over the phone with her. She said, quote, "I definitely wasn't encouraging it, but she didn't know how to end it either. You want to believe it's not happening." The 5th woman chose to go unnamed, but recounted a story from the late 90s when she was working on The Chris Rock Show with Louis C.K. She said she was repeatedly asked by Louis C.K. if he could masturbate in front of her. She was in her early 20s at the time and eventually went along with his requests. She looked back on it saying, quote, "It was something that I knew was wrong. I think the big piece of why I said yes was because of the culture. He abused his power." Every account reported in the article was backed up by either friends or colleagues that were told about the incidents right after they happened. When the New York Times reached out for a statement from Louis C.K., his publicist Louis C.K. said, quote, "Louis is not going to answer any questions." Now, all of this news was shocking to most, but has actually been addressed before. In 2012, Gawker reported the comedy duo's story without naming Louis C.K. And again in 2015, Gawker published an article about a man who had contact with Louis C.K. regarding him masturbating in front of women. So guys, tell us your thoughts on all this in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe for more What's Trending.